back, everybody. So today we're going to have the first tasting of my Sierra Nevada clone with a twist. Now there's going to be a couple of these. So if you haven't, I'll link a card up above. I did do a video, a recipe video on taking the Sierra Nevada clone recipe, putting it in Beersmith. Then what I did is I scaled it down to a 1.25 gallon batch, but I have the 5 gallon and 1.25 gallon batch if you want to check that out. I just released the video, if you're watching this in 2020, of my not so Sierra Nevada clone that I did, and I wanted to make a couple of them. I think in total there's 4 twist versions of it. So for the grain bill, 2 pounds 7.6 ounces of raw pale malt, 3.4 ounces of crystal 40 or 60, and that is it. 60-minute mash. 90-minute boil, and we'll wrap around to that after I tell you the hops. Excuse me. For the hops, remember 90-minute boil, 0.11 ounces of Centennial at 90 minutes, 0.1 ounce of Centennial at 60, 0.17 ounces at 30 minutes, then 0.48 ounces of Citra at the end of the boil. Now I do have my Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and that uses Cascade. So what we did was we took all the Cascade out, I threw in Centennial, then the end one, instead of it being Centennial at flame out, I switched it to Citra, just to see how it would come out. So here's where we go. So 90-minute boil. Beersmith wanted this post boil to be 10:57. I hit 10:73. Now why is that? Now on this one, I did talk about this a little bit in the clone Pale Ale, so go look at that. But this one I was actually under. I was just under the 1 gallon line, and I took it and I let it go. I didn't add water. What you can do if you're over and you're not at your batch or how much volume you need, you can add water, kind of stir it up, then take another reading and see how close you are. But on this one, I wanted to let it run just because I'm like, hey, the first one I did, that was pretty much on at 1.25 gallons going into the carboy. Let's just let it ride. So we finished at 8.43%. So in comparison, this ended at 8 bricks, and the clone version ended at 7.75 bricks, but it was four points lower. So bottled on 8/12. So let's get this open, see what this tastes like. Okay, hiss, good smoke. Now, boiling 90 minutes, what's that going to do? You're going to evaporate more water. You can see it. You know, that's why you start with 2 gallons, and after an hour, you usually want to get your boil off rate. And usually, I know where on the dial, when I do it in the house, exactly where it is, and that's where I keep them all. But obviously, that 90-minute might have been a little bit more intense or something. That's why I ended up with less, because I did add more water, mash-in water, so that way I could hit my final 1.2 gallons going into the carboy. So let's go ahead and pour this. There we go. I've got the other one over there, so I was just looking because this one looks a little different. Now this one does have a head, so maybe it's something in the hops, the oils. The Cascade had a little bit more oil that killed the head, where the Centennial and Citra don't. Nice caramel color head, small and medium bubbles. It does look like it's dissipating, but not even a quarter finger of head color. More burnt orange. I'm going to bring the other one back. It's close. It seems like this one's clearer. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. Ooh, it's close. But yeah, this one looks burnt orange, not as hazy. I can make out the light box. Lots more carbonation coming up from this. Man, looks like a good fall beer. Let's go ahead and smell. Ooh. Juicy fruit up front. Yeah, nice juicy fruit, which surprises me. It really does because using that crystal 60, boiling 90 minutes, I thought it was going to be a lot sweeter caramel toasted bread smell, but I'm guessing it's because it's young. But yeah, good juicy fruit, almost like what you would find in a New England IPA. Yeah, smells wonderful. Let's go ahead and taste. It it doesn't it doesn't smell like it looks. Let's go ahead and taste. Definitely different. So, juicy fruit, big juicy fruit, but it seems like this is very balanced in my opinion because you do get some of that toasted bread in there. A little bit of sweetness, pushing medium body, but it's like they're intertwining. Like you get some that juicy fruit hits you first, then you get some sweet caramel toasted bread, back to juicy, some breadiness, some bitterness, then it goes to the aftertaste. Yeah, it's like that bitterness lingers. Aftertaste is kind of a mixture. I get more grapefruit, some more citrus bitterness in the aftertaste, mixed in with some sweetness, a little fruitiness, that toasted bread in there, grapefruit bitterness that I'm picking up. That's usually what I get from the Centennial hops. So I'm guessing that's coming from there. But yeah, that bitterness does linger just like it did in the last one. Yeah, that juicy fruit. This is kind of like one of those beers that it doesn't taste the way it looks or the way you think it should be. You know, let's just say an amber ale or something like that. You're going to get a little caramel maltiness in there, just enough hops to kind of balance that out. Um, but in the taste, that juicy fruit really comes through, but you get that sweet caramel toasted bread, not as much as you would probably in an amber. It is a little bit lower. Now that could be from the juicy fruit in there, the Citra, and maybe if you wanted to say the Centennial. Usually I don't get any fruit out of Centennial, but then that bitterness in the aftertaste isn't an amber. An amber, you're really not going to get any bitterness in the aftertaste. Again, it's going to be that toasted bread, maybe a little caramel in there. But with this, yeah, that grapefruit rind bitterness mixed with all that other stuff is what you're getting. That's good. I like that. Yeah, definitely one. If you make small batches, if you want to make a 5 gallon batch, you're probably going to like it. If you like that fruitiness, if you like that toasted bread, definitely one to make. We are getting some lacing. The other one didn't have that. I'm probably going to do a side by side just to kind of compare. I think. I'm not sure yet on there about that, but yeah, if I had to pick, I would make this one over the other one. I'm more of a juicy fruit fan than I am like that citrus, floral earthiness. So I would rather drink this. I don't get any alcohol in this at all. which is scary. But yeah, yeah, good beer. Definitely one I'll make. I haven't made a true 5 gallon beer in probably over a year because I've been making so many small batches. I think I'm gonna have to make this in a 5 gallon batch because we're middle of September, so it's starting to get cold out, and this would be perfect. So if you enjoyed this video, check some more out over here, and until next time, happy brewing.